Hey y'all, it is Phalon back with another video, and this time we are talking about the Marvel director that is backtracking on claims about a three-way Spider-Man MCU crossover. He says I was joking. Were you really, sir? Were you really? But first, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for all my future content, including every Friday at 5 p.m. Central Time Zone. I do Feature Friday, where I promote your work. But we're getting into this. It's director Scott Derrickson, who was going to do the Doctor Strange movie, is now backpedaling on his claims about a Spider-Man crossover in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. One, I think it's because he got into a lot of trouble. He probably did want to do a Spider-Man crossover between three different Spider-Mans. We got Holland, we got Maguire, and we got Garfield. And I think those three, it would have been interesting to see how they interact with each other, what their story continued on to be. But we're not going to find that out. Well, we may. Raimi is in charge of the new Doctor Strange movie, which is really interesting. I want to see what he's going to do with it. But Derrickson himself, I think he wanted to do right by the fans, and he just got removed, or well, it said there was creative differences. So there's no telling what could happen. Simmons, who plays J. Jonah Jameson, is confirmed to be in multiple Marvel movies, so we are going to see him be everywhere, which is kind of nifty, don't you think? We get to see him back in there. And then it is confirmed that Jamie Foxx is reprising his role as Electro. So you have two characters from different parts of the Spider-Man franchise. And I feel like they probably still are doing it, but they can't say that, oh, by the way, we're still going to have all these Spider-Mans sort of into the Spider-Verse, because we are going to be introduced into a Spider-Man multiverse. And the multiverse, it's canon as far as the comics go, because it's explored many times, especially in the 90s Spider-Man cartoon, where Spider-Man meets alternate versions of himself, and he does help them. Spider-Man also met Stan Lee, and that was an amazing moment. I honestly think that all of them are canon anyways. It's like they're just in their own little pocket universes. I think him having to backpedal is because he's not part of the project anymore. He doesn't know what Raimi is going to do. If they're changing any of the script, are they altering anything at all? But yeah, we're going to see some of these comments that were made. Okay, yeah, Scott Derrickson says, I was joking in an exchange with Man Made at Moon. Everyone needs to calm down. And he said, I meant Batman. You're really backpedaling hard, aren't you, Derrickson? Okay, and in this article, it says, while Derrickson's comments seem to dispel the idea of a three-way Spider-Man crossover, there's nonetheless been plenty of evidence to suggest that a crossover could yet be in the cards. Like I said, J.K. Simmons, reprising the newspaper editor J. Jonah Jameson from Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy at the very end of 2019's Spider-Man Far From Home. He is also reported to join the cast of the forthcoming third MCU Spider-Man film alongside Jamie Foxx, who is played by Max Dillon, aka Electro, in 2014's The Amazing Spider-Man 2. So, yeah, despite he's saying, oh no, it's not going to happen, there is going to be no crossover. Look at the evidence to the contrary. Don't. I think the multiverse is a wonderful thing, and I would love to see all these Spider-Mans in one movie, because that would be great. At least in my opinion. I think it would be great. But I don't know if that's what we're going to get. I feel like people are kind of ignoring the fact that it's like the multiverse is not an old theme as far as Marvel and DC. It's like multiverse has always been a thing. At least for the last decade, 2 decades, if not longer. To go back to what, like with Deadpool. Deadpool likes to jump universes, and I think people really enjoy going back to their old school stuff, and that's why people are actually excited that we get to see Simmons and Fox reprising roles from decade to decades. So it's like, dude, you're trying too hard. You're backpedaling way too hard. But I would love to hear y'all's opinion. Do you think that we are going to see a 3-way Spider-Man movie in the cards? Are we going to see even a hint at old villains from Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 3, The Amazing Spider-Man? It would be great to see more of them in the main timeline that they are using. And does that mean that we could see, like, Chris Evans reprise his role as the Human Torch? Because the multiverse kind of opens up a whole new bag of worms. Because there are so many different timelines and storylines. It's like, dude, there's so much you could do. And that's why there's fan fiction. But yeah, I would love to hear from y'all. Do you think there will be a crossover for Spider-Man or not? I'd love to hear from y'all down below. And as always, this is Phalon Reacts, and I will catch y'all on the flip side.